Oh, a microphony.
And a phony at the mic.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
The Doctor of Discernment is now online.
You know, much like my show, in that it's a local reaction to things that are happening on a federal level.
Dispensing a daily dose of common sense. No prescription required.
Wow, do I have a boatload of stuff for you, from the crazy to the absurd. Let's start getting into it because, I mean, it is bizarro world out there. And I say, if it's obvious to me, it should be obvious to everybody. Oh, wow. Who could have seen this coming?
This is the Fourth Hour with Greg Belfrage.
Hold on to your butts.
Broadcasting from my basement bunker beneath Kettle Radio, this is the Fourth Hour with Greg Belfrage. It is great to have you along. We're picking up a few more folks on YouTube. We're just shy. We're one person shy of 450 subscribers. Again, I know these are small numbers, but literally we're building this from the ground up. Started with very few, and we have been adding more and more folks all the time. So please, if you're not a subscriber, we would love to have you on board. I would just really, really appreciate it. Okay. Gavin, what is going on with, I want to make sure where to start here. Let's go to the New York Post. Democrat Nazi rhetoric about ICE has inspired tragic violence. This is the Post editorial board, and they're talking about Gavin Newsom, and more on him in just a moment. AOC, others relentlessly villainize ICE. Did not tell this young man who went up on the roof start firing away yesterday, as we discussed on the show this morning. Just the night before, Newsom vented to Stephen Colbert's viewers about authoritarian actions by an authoritarian government, and that the ICE issue is alarming beyond words. Really, are you alarmed beyond words? It's just crazy. So there's the shooter. Anti-ICE was scrawled on one of the shells. His only victims turned out to be 3 detainees who were hit. He killed one of them, injured 2 others. He didn't, he shot at quite a number of rounds and did not hit a single ICE officer. He was just firing indiscriminately right into the vehicle. And so it's very clear he was trying to kill ICE personnel. Why else would you spray the building's lobby and windows? Public figures who keep chorusing Nazis about some identifiable group are in fact encouraging targeted violence. Yeah, I totally believe this. And this is what we talked about on the air this morning. So ICE agents right now are, the New York Post says, exclusively engaged in intelligence-based, data-driven enforcement targeting known, identifiable bad guys. That means going after the 1.5 million individuals who haven't left the country, so on. So there it is. You see anti-ICE. I don't know what the rest of that is. And you wonder then how much that was inspired by Charlie Kirk's assassination and Charlie Kirk's killer, because he had bullets that were marked, in the same kind of way. So was that now going to inspire more people on the left to carry out that kind of violence? We'll have to wait and see. So as we talk about, let's go to back to the New York Post. Gavin Newsom launching I shared the wrong story with you. Sorry. This is from Breitbart. This is a piece from Breitbart. So Gavin Newsom launching an anti-Semitic attack on Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller is Jewish, and he referred to him by SS. You see it right here? Many people are saying that submissive Stephen, SS Miller, There's nothing submissive about Stephen Miller. If you know of Stephen Miller, the guy is tough. I think the guy is absolutely tough. He is as tough as Trump. I really believe it. So Stephen Miller throwing the biggest, most pathetic tantrum in the entire West Wing, crying, stomping, wailing, our quotas, our arrests of children. How will we survive without raiding the innocent? Gavin Newsom, wow. Talk about somebody. I'm just going to stop there because anything I say about Gavin Newsom is not going to be productive. And I don't want to be accused of inspiring any kind of hatred against these people. I know I just have my own frustrations, and they're pretty significant these days. I think there's a lot to be frustrated by. You know, we talked about that on the show this morning. It was this story from the New York Post. Here we go. Lefties, including Gavin Newsom, AOC, amplified anti-ICE rhetoric before that shooting in Dallas yesterday. So let's see what they are talking about. President Trump saying very clearly on Truth Social, I am calling on all Democrats to stop this rhetoric against ICE and America's law enforcement right now. So the White House did the same thing back in July. Newsom has condemned ICE, even encouraged protests against agents. Under his leadership, left-leaning nonprofits provided riot gear packages to protesters. Have you seen the photos of those? I did at the time. There were photos of these packages, face masks, goggles, all of this kind of stuff, an open line for jail support. I mean, this is how crazy it's gotten. So you have these politicians and these groups that are out there who are encouraging this kind of violence. And it's unfortunate that we are not hearing more voices of peace. So you had Newsom on Late Show with Stephen Colbert talking about this, talking about ICE as a private domestic army. People ask, well, is authoritarianism you being hyperbolic? Bullshit, we're being hyperbolic. If you're a black or brown community, it's here in this country. This is just, first of all, Gavin Newsom, this guy is, as you well know, he is running to lead the Democrat Party, and I can't think of anybody better. I mean, as lost as the Democratic Party is, wouldn't it be refreshing to have some Democrat who is just a voice of reason? And, you know, I talked to a pastor on the program this morning out of Memphis, and he is a Democrat himself, lifelong Democrat. And you listened to him this morning. Did you detect any of that? Did you detect any of that polarizing kind of, you know? So I'm sure he and I disagree on a number of things. You never would have known that. And what he was talking about, and I mentioned it during the interview because it struck me, he was talking essentially about folks on Main Street, about the view on Main Street, and how those of us who are on Main Street really need to get involved, and we need to embrace God and all of these things. And he's a pastor down in Memphis. But it was a really, really kind of uplifting, but talking about the people on Main Street. We have got to get more people in politics from Main Street and less people like Gavin Newsom. And I mean, it's just, he is just absolutely incredible. There is, forgive me, I got a number. Oh, I want to show you that. Yeah. I talked about this on the program this morning, but I wanted you to see the video because this is just one of those things. So these are a couple of sisters trashing. This is a Charlie Kirk memorial that you're seeing right here, the candles and so on, the flags. And you see that she's up there. She's just throwing stuff, tearing it up, flipping off the camera. There it is, flipping off the camera. Yeah, these are a couple of real beauties. These two sisters who trashed the Charlie Kirk Memorial. Now they're out there begging for cash. And this is what is so crazy. They're from Arkansas, 23 and 22 years old. They set up a GoFundMe to cover their legal fees after they were arrested for what you see here. There she is again, displaying her middle fingers for us, for the country to see. And she wrote, my sibling and I are being doxxed online, and my sibling was fired from their job. Their First Amendment rights are being violated. There you go again. All of these people, it's like this USD professor claiming his First Amendment rights are being violated. This is just way too much. Way too much. So they set up a GoFundMe. Please help I hate the New York Post. I hate the way their website works. I love the New York Post for their reporting. I'm just not a fan of the website. Please help my sibling. Well, they look for another job. Stand up against the tyranny. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the tyranny. Got to step up against this tyranny. It's creeping into the country. Well, she is out there, I'm going to refresh the page here so you can see that video again, because it's just really crazy. She's ripping everything up, and now we moved on to a new video. So every day I start going through these things and I'm like, wow, I'm a little more disappointed each day. Things have just gotten crazier and crazier. Okay. More to share with you this morning. Keeping an eye on my time here. Don't want to go too long. Oh, yeah. So this Gavin Newsom and that's the attack against Stephen Miller. So I'll leave that there. I got to learn to close my windows once I'm done sharing them so I don't wind up repeating things. Also, while we're talking about Charlie Kirk, another man has been arrested. He made social media threats just hours before the Charlie Kirk vigil down at the university, or excuse me, not the vigil, but his appearance at the University of Texas at San Antonio. 19-year-old charged with making a terroristic threat. He said that he planned to use his truck to disrupt the gathering. And he was out there on Facebook making all these threats. And he said, this is a disgrace. And I can tell you right now, I'm going to make sure this won't be good. Not comforting vigil. Y'all watch and see. I'm going to make this a movie, me and my truck. So he's threatening to take his truck into the crowd. Another user questioned him. He said, you'll see tomorrow. I just wouldn't advise trying to stop a Ford 250 diesel truck. Show y'all how much Charlie really means. So this is what this nitwit is posting on social media. Well, the police show up. Gee, imagine that. I can't imagine that the police would show up. And he told, he said he was just being dumb. He was clowning around. This is what he told police. Just being dumb, clowning around. He didn't mean any of it. And then he told officers, even if I'm 19 years old, that doesn't mean I won't still act like a kid. So he asked if the threats were criminal charges, or excuse me, is it worth, okay, you made those threats. Is it worth the criminal charges? And he said, if that's what it takes, I did what I did and I can take the consequences. So you just got more and more people that are just being incredibly, I think, stupid. in the way that they are approaching things. Also, Fox News story above the fold this morning. Trump administration is partnering with Elon Musk's XAI. And XAI is saying, Elon Musk, that this is going to save the government a ton of money. GSA announced yesterday morning, or this morning rather, that federal agencies will now have access to Grok 4 and Grok 4 Fast as part of their agreement with XAI. And Musk told Fox News XAI has the most powerful AI compute and the most capable AI models in the world. So what does this mean? What will XAI be able to turn up in terms of government waste, government agencies, what's happening, what we see going on, especially with Democrats right now and a budget stalemate? It'll be interesting to see. So GSI is saying the AI models are an essential tool in fulfilling the president's promise that the U.S. will win the AI race, but also for building the efficient, accountable government that taxpayers deserve. And that's why I share it with you, because I think a lot of us look at that as extremely great news, incredibly good news, great things that are happening there. Okay, I don't have a lot else for you this morning. I was running a little bit behind, wasn't able to dig up as much as I usually do. Didn't have anything left over from the show either. Sometimes if there are things that I don't get to on the air, I'll bring those into the fourth hour. But pretty much worked through all of that this morning. So we're going to leave it there for today. I want to thank all of you who subscribe, especially on YouTube. Thanks to my YouTube subscriber. Those numbers have been growing here this week. I've watched even in just the last few days, picking up. Again, it's a trickle. It's a trickle of people, but we're picking up more and more people. And I want to thank you for that. So you have made it to the end of the video. You are part of my gallery of champions. Special salute to the Bunker Brigade. Those are the folks that you see. For those of you, whether you're on Facebook or on YouTube, the comments that you see from folks throughout the stream, very much appreciated. I appreciate every one of these folks, regardless of whether we agree, disagree, doesn't matter. It's just great to have you along. So until tomorrow, my friend, I'm underground and gone.